This episode is going to share the best tip for women to stay motivated to lose weight. Stay tuned. Hey there, Dr. Morgan Nolte here. Thanks for joining me today for this really important episode about how to stay motivated to lose weight. There are certainly times in my own life where I don't feel like being healthy. I don't feel like making the choice that I know I should make. And honestly, sometimes I don't. There have been times after I had my children when I was losing weight where I thought, is this ever going to work? Is this actually possible for me? Or is this just how my body is going to look after kids? We all know that motivation is fleeting. But what if you were able to keep going, to keep making healthy choices, to keep pursuing the best version of yourself, even when you didn't feel like it? It's very important that you learn the magic of self-discipline, of being fully committed to your goals, of doing what you say you're going to do, at least most of the time, even if you're tired, stressed, or frankly, don't even believe that what you're doing is going to make a difference. If you give up, you are never going to see results. What kind of results do you believe are possible for you if you could just stay the course and be consistent? If you're watching on YouTube, I want you to let me know in the comments, what is your biggest barrier to being consistent for your health? And if you're listening to the podcast version, just take a moment and consider that question. What is your biggest barrier to being consistent? If I had a nickel for every time someone told me, I know what to do to lose weight, I'm just not doing it, I'd be a rich woman. And another common thing I hear is blaming like their thyroid or their genetics for weight, when really it comes down to being consistent with what you can control. Actually doing those simple lifestyle changes that keep insulin low. While yes, the thyroid is a very important organ and may be a contributor to weight gain, chances are there are still many things in your control that you're really not taking full responsibility for. To the degree in which you accept responsibility, you can expect to see results. So if you've ever said, I know what to do, I'm just not doing it, my response is that's great if you know what to do, but it doesn't matter if you don't know how to turn that insight into action and make yourself do it. In order to get healthy, you're going to have to learn how to turn insight into action on a regular basis, even when you're not motivated to do so, even when you're not seeing results, even when you feel like nothing is ever going to work for you. It's part of the game. From my coaching experience, the most powerful way you can generate motivation out of thin air is to keep your eye on your why. And I'm going to walk you through my 4-step Find Your Why formula in this episode. When someone tells me that they struggle with consistency, I like to point out that really they don't. They're able to be consistently inconsistent, which proves that they can be consistent in something. Another way is to look at this related to your work. Do you show up for work every day? Do you show up for work even when you're sick? Do you show up even when you don't want to? When you're tired because the kids were up all night or you have hot flashes that woke you up? You do, because you're committed to going to work. You absolutely have the ability to be consistent. We just need to transfer that to your health. You have to look for proof of consistency in other areas of your life that you're more committed to than your health. Commitment creates consistency. If you're struggling with consistency, you're struggling to be fully committed to whatever plan you're trying to execute. If you haven't listened to the episode with Dr. Mary Barson, I highly recommend it. In it, she talks about consistency and commitment and gave this metaphor that I really liked about kids. If you tell your partner that you're going to pick the kids up from school, come hell or high water, you will pick those kids up from school. Even if you're tired, even if the weather's bad, or if you'd rather stay home or stay at work, because you're fully committed to not putting your kids in danger physically or emotionally by not picking them up. You recognize the consequences. Whether you are actively trying to lose weight, or maybe you're just thinking about getting started again, and you're a little bit intimidated, maybe overwhelmed by how much time and effort you're telling yourself it's going to take, this episode will help you. I want you to notice that language that I just used there, the story that you're telling yourself. You've got to pay attention to your thoughts. If you're telling yourself that it's going to take a bunch of time to lose weight, and then it's going to take a bunch of energy to lose weight, you're getting yourself hyped up and making your brain think that it's going to be harder than it actually is. Your brain doesn't like doing hard things. So if we can trick your brain to enjoy the process and not just wait until you see a number on the scale to be happy, you're going to be much more likely to stay the course, even if you're not seeing results. If you can't tell, I'm wildly committed to your success. I've been putting out weekly content for years because I am committed to you. I am committed to helping you get healthy now so that you can prevent the diseases that I treat in physical therapy, seeing geriatric patients. I have a very unique perspective as a younger person with intimate experience about what the consequences are of an unhealthy lifestyle. And that drives me. That provides me with all the motivation that I'll ever need. I do not want you to have diabetic wounds or blurry vision from years of uncontrolled blood glucose. I don't want you to need a diuretic to reduce your shortness of breath from heart disease. I don't want you to be laid up in a rehab facility for months after falling and fracturing your bone. The stuff that I saw and that I see in geriatric physical therapy scared me enough to start this business and push me so far outside my comfort zone, I can't even believe it sometimes. I am acutely aware of the consequences of an unhealthy lifestyle. And if you've never considered the long-term consequences for your current health habits, I'd consider you to do so. Because that might just spark a fire under your rear end to start or to keep going. I'm not talking about thinking about the consequences of inaction in this episode too much, but I did want to put that on your radar as a bonus way to get motivation, either to start or to stay on course. If you quit or you never start, what are the consequences? Preventing disease drives me. I want to stay mentally and physically healthy for as long as possible so I can enjoy my life on my terms. What drives you? What's your why? That's what we're talking about today. I'm taking you through a quick process to get clarity around what's driving you to get healthy. Even if you've heard of this before, have you done it? Have you sat down and done the work? If you have, I would encourage you to reflect on it every so often and refine it. And if you haven't, this will be your homework in the next 24 hours. Your why might change based on life circumstances and experience, and that's okay. The sign behind me says keep your eye on your why for one reason, because it works. My guess is that it's not hard for you to tell me why you get up and go to work, even when you don't want to. It's probably easy for you to tell me why you brush your teeth every day, even when you don't feel like it. You've got to find that same level of clarity around why you want to lose weight and get healthy so that you can be fully committed. That strong internal commitment will drive your consistency. You will be so much more committed to your why than any external number so that your motivation is not dependent on an external number. And that's why it's such a great first step to take. You want to capitalize on your energy and momentum now so that when it fades, you have your why to keep you going and to recharge your willpower. I want you to do my 4-step Find Your Why formula within 24 hours of this episode. So make a mental note of when you're going to take at least 15 minutes to do this exercise. The first thing I want you to do is grab a blank piece of paper and your favorite pen. Then you're going to set a timer on your phone for 15 minutes. And I want you to find a comfortable chair and just really relax and maybe get a cup of coffee or tea and tap into that still, quiet, subconscious part of your brain that doesn't get near enough attention. And for the next 15 minutes, here's what you're going to do. Remember that we mine for gold, and the same goes for your thoughts. You're going to be tempted to do this quickly. You're going to have distractions, but take your time and really do your best. I promise the payoff is worth it. Step number 1 is to write your big, bold goal at the top of the paper, like this. Step number 2 is to draw 3 circles, like this. Step number 3 is to label your circles. One is going to be labeled do, another feel, and a third is ripple. Don't worry about what these mean because I'm going to get to that in just a minute. Step number 4 is to fill in the circles using these prompts. The first question I want you to ask yourself is, what will reaching this goal allow me to do or do better? So often we seek external answers. We Google it. We ask what other people think. But I really believe in the power of intuition and that you know deep down what you need to do. But in our busy world, we don't take the time to listen to our intuition. I always believe the first person we should ask a question to is ourselves. So ask yourself, what will reaching this goal allow me to do or do better? And write your thoughts in the do circle. It may be helpful to use a 5-minute timer for each question to force yourself to sit in the silence of your own thoughts. The next question to ask yourself is, how will reaching this goal make me feel? What emotional gain is there to reaching this goal? And write your answer in the feel circle. The last question to ask yourself is, what is the ripple effect that reaching this goal will have on my life, my family, my career, my future? Write that in the ripple circle. Then the core of these circles is your why. All of this is your why. I typically say that you should be able to tell me your why in 10 seconds or less, and that it needs to include someone other than yourself. Otherwise, it's not clear enough and it's not strong enough. So you might want to refine it a little bit. The truth is that every decision we make impacts the lives of others. And I often work with busy caretakers who are forgetting to take care of themselves. The flight attendant was right. We absolutely need to put on our own oxygen masks first so that we can better help others. Now, once the 15 minutes is up, you have to celebrate, right? Because you're on your way to finding your why, and that will fast track your weight loss success and provide you with lasting motivation. Again, I would love to see you do this in the next 24 hours. Go through those 4 steps of drawing your 3 circles and writing out what getting healthy will allow you to do or do better, how it will make you feel, and what the ripple effect will be for your loved ones. And again, then refine it. Take some time and think about how you could come up with your own health mission statement of sorts. You get bonus points if you share your health mission statement with a loved one or a friend. Now remember, my program is opening in just a few short weeks, and I'd really encourage you to do this exercise with a friend and maybe join the program with a friend so that you have a built-in accountability partner going through the program and you guys can learn together and share new ideas together. Consistency is a huge predictor of human behavior. So if I can get you to physically write down your health mission statement, your why, I know that you're so much more likely to feel that internal pull to maintain your integrity and follow through for yourself. That's why I'm so big on you writing things down and committing out loud to other people what you want to accomplish. I don't tell you that I'll talk with you at the same time, same place next week, bye for now, at the end of each episode for no reason. That's a consistency principle for me. I make a commitment to you that I'll show up. And saying that out loud makes me so much more motivated to follow through for you and show you that I'm a person of integrity. So use this consistency principle with that initial rush of motivation that you feel at the start of any new program to create your why and to outline your health mission and to make the external commitment to someone else. That's what motivation is really good for. setting up your systems and environment to follow through even when you don't feel motivated, even when the results are slower than you want or not existent at all, at least on the scale. Now, of course, this is just one strategy that I have for you to stay consistent and keep your motivation. And if you want to take a moment and write down the consequences you'll face in 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, if you don't make the changes now, that's a bonus. There are numerous more behavior change techniques inside my program, but I know that finding your why is often the first step towards being fully committed to your goals and following through on the rest of the program. And that's why I wanted to take some time today and really dive in and explain how to do it. And if you're already in my program, I wanted to give you that gentle reminder to keep your eye on your why. Maybe it's time to refine it or go back to it. And on that note, I'll say it again. I'll talk with you at the same time, same place next week. Bye for now.